yeah, is it Tuesday already? This is the last stream of 2025. The last Is It Tuesday already of 2025. Crazy times, but we got to talk about some Star Wars news today, which is the best way to end the year with speculation and rumors and leaks and actual interviews with Daisy Ridley and new posters for the Mandalorian and Grogu. We got a great stream to end off the year with a bunch of fun little things to talk about today, and we got a giveaway because it's the last stream of the month. It's going to be a fun one. We got a fun one today, so we got not a lot of time to get to any of it. So without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? The last Tuesday stream of 2025. That's really crazy. It just started settling in. Just became a real thing when I started live streaming here. So that's kind of crazy. 2025's flew by. Absolutely flew by. And we got a lot of great stuff when it came to Star Wars in 2025. We talked about it on Saturday's live stream when we ranked all the projects with Andor Season 2, Rebuild the Galaxy, Tales of the Underworld, Visions Volume 3, and so much more. We had a Star Wars celebration this year that gave us announcements for incredible projects coming in 2026, which we'll talk about today. But we got some news. Some actual Star Wars news to talk about with Millie Bobby Brown, the star who plays 11 in Stranger Things, which comes to an end tomorrow, sadly. But we'll talk about that. She could be coming to Star Wars in a fan theory / fan cast may come true yet again. We got a Mando poster to look at and dissect, and Daisy Ridley is talking about the Rey movie. We haven't talked New Jedi Order, Daisy Ridley, Rey, post-sequels in a long time, so we're going to talk about that as well. But before we do any of it, let's start the stream the only way we know how, by saying hi to everybody in the chat. Shall we? Justin, how we doing? Kyler in the house. Brandon Baker, what is up? Haja in the building. Holly, what is up? 50 Thunder, how we doing? Max Rebo in the house. Starship 66, how we doing? Vegas Jedi in the building. Skywalker Academy, what is up? Monkey Toes, great name. How we doing? WV Grad in the building. That Dave that loves Star Wars. How we doing? RG in the building. Manning, what is up? Darth Plagueis lives. How we doing? If I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
All right. So I think we got to start with, or we should start with, I should say, start with the Rey stuff. Let's get that stuff out of the way. Daisy Ridley talking about this movie. When's it going to happen? When's it going to film as we look into 2026? We'll start with that. Then we'll go to Millie Bobby Brown. And then we got some Mando and Grogu to get hyped up about. And we'll just get hyped for 2026. Sound like a plan, chat? Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan to me. We do have some memberships here real quick. WV Grab with a 12-month, 1-year membership. Saber time, hit me up. I will send that right to you as soon as possible, as soon as you send it to me, of course. One more month and it'll be a year for Holly. That's insane. 2025 has been an incredible year for this channel, and I know a lot of you guys have actually found this channel in 2025. Tell me if that's you in the chat, so I could not appreciate you guys literally anymore. This has been insane. We'll talk about it at the end of this live stream as we, I sign off. But let's start with this Rey movie stuff, shall we? So, Daisy Ridley had an interview while promoting her latest and greatest, and she had a lot to say when it comes to Star Wars. We'll put it that way. So let's read this article first. Let's start here. And actually, no, let's start with the poll. Let's start with the poll. Let's be honest here. If you haven't smashed a freaking like in this stream, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Get on it. But let's start with the poll. Greg, what's up? How we doing? Are you excited for the Rey movie? Oops. The Rey movie. Yes or no? What was originally announced to be the first Star Wars movie to release after the sequel trilogy, the Rey movie was supposed to, give us the post-sequel world. Give us this, what the galaxy is going to look like beyond the Rise of Skywalker, beyond the Skywalker saga. That changed, specifically in 2025, that changed when Starfighter was announced, because now this takes place after the sequel trilogy, and will release before the Rey movie. So that will come out before here. But are you still excited for this Rey movie? Yes or no? You tell me in the chat. And while you do so, let's take a look at this article, shall we? Oh, well, that's not helpful. Hang on. There's Daisy Ridley herself right there on some sort of red carpet. Daisy Ridley says the new Jedi Order film will be worth the wait. And not only that, she hypes up Star Wars Starfighter. Now, for those people out there that were theorizing that these two projects are going to be connected, it seems highly likely. I know Starfighter's brand new cast, brand new everything, not connected to what came before, but it could be connected to what comes after. This Flynn Gray character, supposed to be rumored to be Force sensitive, could be a future youngling at Rey's new Jedi Order. So these two projects could be heavily connected. But let's read. Daisy Ridley has stated to Parade, I guess the website, that while progress on the forthcoming movie set in the new Jedi Order time period, I don't know why it says movie, is slow. It is moving forward, though. The latest that we heard in terms of when this movie will start filming was April of next year. So 2026 will give us a lot of answers when it comes to this Rey movie if it starts filming and when it will likely come out. Because if it starts filming in 2026, the release date is likely in 2028 or possibly really late 2027, but that would be pushing it. So, meanwhile, she also has praised for the upcoming Star Wars Starfighter ensemble, adding Lucasfilm is high on it as well, this upcoming Starfighter movie, which seems to be getting all the buzz because of its cast. On the press tour for her new movie, We Bury the Dead, I don't know what that is, but sounds pretty interesting just based off the title. Daisy Ridley reaffirmed that progress on her Star Wars movie is still going forward despite the lack of release date as of right now, as she says this. It will arrive when it's ready. Oh, you hear that? Be patient. It will arrive when it's ready. It will arrive when it's ready, and it will be worth the wait. We know very, 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 did I say very? Very little about this Rey movie. We know that it takes place 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker, but that might even change for all we know. We know that it's gotten at least 3 different writers. At least. Maybe 5. But at least 3 different writers. And now it is on to George Nulfi. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy will direct. And it will have Rey in it. That's about it. Who the main villain is, we have no idea. Will it be Matt Smith's character from Starfighter? Maybe. Will it be the Yuuzhan Vong? Maybe. We don't know. We don't know pretty much anything else about this movie. Now, as time goes forward, as we get, hopefully, it to start filming in April of next year, we will get a lot more information. Cast. Will John Boyega come back? Will Adam Driver come back? Will Oscar Isaac come back to play Poe Dameron? All those questions will likely be answered by the time they start filming, unless they keep some of it a secret. But tell me in the chat, do you think this movie will be, a trip down memory lane and give us those actors back as their respective characters? For example, John Boyega as Finn. If we're doing a new Jedi Order movie, John Boyega as Finn must be there as a Jedi. But that's just me. So tell me in the chat. But it will be worth the wait. Starfighter is set 5 years after The Rise of Skywalker, while the new Jedi Order movie is apparently set 15 years after the end of the sequel trilogy, or so said Lucasfilm at the time of its announcement, which, by the way, this Rey movie was announced over 2 years ago at Star Wars Celebration in 2023. So it's been quite some time since this movie has really gotten any sort of update or anything of that sort. But Daisy Ridley seems to be very optimistic and involved in the production and creation of this movie. Daisy Ridley hyped up the former Star Wars Starfighter by adding this. I am really looking forward to seeing Starfighter. I think that will be great. Such a brilliant group of actors, loaded cast. I saw Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy recently, and I asked how it was going, and she said it was amazing. This confirms a couple things. One, as we assumed, Starfighter is going to be awesome, but Kathleen Kennedy and Daisy Ridley are having meetings together. How frequently, I have no idea. But this does affirm and confirm that this is happening, and it's happening somewhat often, I'd assume. This movie has been in the pre-production phase, for lack of a better word, for now over 2.5 years. Now, we've talked about to extreme length in 2025, or at least the tail end of this year, the Hunt for Ben Solo movie. Now, we will talk about that again today a little bit, but I am still of the mind that the Hunt for Ben Solo movie was in production from 2021 to 2023. They spent $3 million to make a script, and they made this script. They thought it was the best idea they had and their best opportunity to have a box office success with bringing back Adam Driver and telling that story of him returning. They brought it to Disney, and they said no. So I think that from 2021 to 2023, their idea was Hunt for Ben Solo. Adam Driver is back. We got an Oscar-winning director with Soderbergh attached, and it's going to be awesome. That falls through, and in 2023, they had to panic, scramble around, and go make a Rey movie. Because if you can't do Adam Driver, if you can't do Kylo Ren, you go to the next best option from the sequel trilogy, and that was Rey. So I think the reason that we haven't gotten much of anything solid from the Rey movie, the reason that it's gone through so many different writers, is because this was never the plan. Ever. The plan was Hunt for Ben Solo, and then it got axed by Bob Iger and Alan Bergman. So when that happened, they had to scramble around, panic, everybody panic, sound the alarms, and they had to go to do a Rey movie. That's why it's gone through so many different writers. That's why it hasn't even started filming yet. And that's why Starfighter has and The Mandalorian and Grogu has, because it's those things weren't jumbled together last minute because of this falling out with the Hunt for Ben Solo. So what I think's happening, and a big reason as to why this movie hasn't started filming yet, is because Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, and the fans ourselves are still holding out hope that the Hunt for Ben Solo will still happen. Because I think if you're going to do the Hunt for Ben Solo movie, you're going to have to do that before the Rey movie. Because that character, well, let's put it this way. If you do a Hunt for Ben Solo movie that takes place like right after the events of the sequels, because that's when he dies, if you do that movie right after the events and he returns to life, Ben Solo is, living again, it's highly likely that he's involved with the New Jedi Order, with Rey, and what her plans are. So you can't have the Rey movie come out first because it takes place 15 years later, and Ben Solo would just be like, hey, I'm here. I'm back, just hanging out. It would be like, what? How would that happen? They could do it actually in a way like Boba Fett, for example, where they brought Boba Fett back from the dead, didn't really explain it in The Mandalorian Season 2, and they just gave us an awesome, cool Boba Fett scene where he's, badass and back and all that greatness, but they didn't explain how he got back. And then they did a Book of Boba Fett show to explain how he came back. So maybe they do that. Maybe the Rey movie does come out first, and then they go back to explain how Ben Solo returned in a Hunt for Ben Solo movie. Possibly, but I think the right way to do it would be the Hunt for Ben Solo first, and that leads to this movie being delayed. I know it never had a release date, but it's being delayed. It's the logical explanation here because they have Daisy Ridley on board. They have Sharmina Bed-Chinoy on board. They've had multiple writers on board. And the reason that this movie hasn't gotten greenlit, it's been greenlit, hasn't started filming yet, is because they're holding out hope that next year in 2026, which is in a couple days, when Bob Iger leaves because he's stepping down, he's retiring, whoever comes in next will see this as a great idea. We'll see the Hunt for Ben Solo as a great idea, and then the two can work off of each other. That's what I think. But tell me in the chat. And let me get to that super chat real quickly. Oh, sorry. All right, let me see. Darth Plagueis lives a very generous $10 super chat. Holy crap, that's extremely generous. Says, last stream of 2025. Thank you for everything you do for us. We love you, Mike. Here's to an even better year in 2026. Well, first of all, I don't do shit. No, I appreciate that quite a bit. But as I mentioned all the time on these live streams, I am nothing without you guys. Plain and simple. So I appreciate it. All you guys, this year has been spectacular. 2025, it's literally, I can't even fathom the numbers we did this year or the amount of subscribers we have or the amount of people who tune in and listen to me live 3 times a week. It's insane. I don't get it, but I appreciate it. So that's very, very nice. Yeah. Thank you. That's, yeah. Okay, let's, where was I? Rey movie. Yeah. Okay. The Rey movie. Where were we? So do you guys think that, first of all, do you guys think the hunt for Ben Solo will still happen? And if so, do you think the Rey movie will be postponed until it does? Because I think they're just playing the long game. They don't need to push out this Rey movie and get it wrong. Because we saw what happened with the sequel trilogy. It's the most divisive thing ever. They want it to be planned and executed well. So if they have to postpone it for a couple more years, I don't care. Just get it done correctly and in the right order. If you have to wait for the hunt for Ben Solo first, then do that. We have other content. We're getting the Mandalorian and Grogu next year. We're getting Starfighter the year after. There's plenty of things we can do first. Just get it right. That's my take on it. Yeah. That's my take. I Hodja with a very generous 18-month membership. I appreciate that. Says, a master with a lightsaber. Don't you know? That's true. You have one, don't you? Yeah. Last stream of the year already? All the best in 2026. Yeah, I think 2026 is going to be, for Star Wars fans, for us personally, absolutely insane. Like, it's going to be the best year of Star Wars ever. I know that's very high praise, but when you look at the content we're getting next year, it has the opportunity to do that. Ahsoka Season 2, Maul, Shadow Lord, The Mandalorian and Grogu. It has a lot. Very big opportunity. Okay. Zaba says, I don't think Stranger Things was bad. It just didn't grip me. When I was their age in the 80s. Okay. I wasn't going to talk about this till we get to the Millie Bobby Brown stuff. No, I'm not going to talk about it till I get to the Millie Bobby Brown stuff, okay? Stranger Things is fucking peak, but I don't know. Okay. Rey movie. Nothing is guaranteed until they count the box office in The Mandalorian and Grogu. True. I think they see The Mandalorian and Grogu as their best option to make money in the box office. A return to the movie theater after 6 years off, it needs to be their best foot forward. And The Mandalorian and Grogu seems to be that. The amount of success that they've had with that show on Disney+. Not only that, but Grogu, he's everywhere. He's their highest selling piece of merchandise since I don't even know, like the Ewoks maybe? I don't know. Since anything, he is the biggest piece of merchandise that they have. Since the lightsaber maybe, I don't know. But Grogu is a big ticket seller, and The Mandalorian was their biggest show on Disney+. So yeah, they wanted a guaranteed success with that. So that's why that's coming out first. They went with the Rey movie, it would have been met with so much scrutiny, so much people going, you just finished the sequel trilogy where fans were extremely divided, and you're going to go back to the sequel trilogy right away? They made the right decision. So The Mandalorian and Grogu will kick us off, but the Rey movie will still happen. It's not like it's just going to be pushed forever into infinity and beyond. Buzz Lightyear. Yeah. Chris, what's up? I appreciate you. Oh, you're sick? That sucks, Chris. Hope you feel better. That stinks. That's always the worst. Yeah. Me and Sam were sick over the weekend, and she had it way worse than I did, but she's feeling better, so yeah. Sci-fi dude, what's up? How we doing? Yeah. Indeed. Plus, there is no script. Why would the next person want the Hunt for Ben Solo movie when it has 6,000 people who want it? There's no script? I think I might have missed the first part of this message, but let me try and dissect it. Well, first of all, there is a script. They spent 2.5 years, and $3 million to write a script. So there is a script. They have a director. They have Adam Driver, who wants to come back. Although for years he seemed to be the Harrison Ford of the sequel trilogy, who whenever he talked about Star Wars, he was talking about it like, oh, I hate Star Wars type deal, like Harrison Ford has done for the last 40 years. But he was on board, completely on board, and wanted to come back. And I think there's a little bit more than 6,000 Star Wars fans that want this movie. However, I know there is a portion of the Star Wars fandom that doesn't want the movie. They don't want anything attached to the sequel trilogy, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But there is a very, very big portion, I'd say upwards of 1 million, easily, but millions of Star Wars fans who would want a continuation of their favorite character from the sequel trilogy. Because for millions and millions and millions of people, their favorite character from that trilogy was Kylo Ren, was Ben Solo, was Adam Driver, and they want a continuation of that story. But this all leads back to the Rey movie. Oh, super chat, hang on. Alexander Wilson with a very generous $5 holla, I appreciate that quite a bit, says, there's another Disney movie coming out in May that will make more money than The Mandalorian. Guess what movie that is? A Disney movie in May that will make more than The Mandalorian. Well, I think The Mandalorian is going to make $1 billion, so $1 billion movie in May. I have no idea. What's a Disney movie that comes out in May? I haven't a clue. Mike, what are you and Sam watching right now? Rebels. We're still on Star Wars Rebels. We're at the end of season 1. I know we're slacking, but we'll be zooming through Rebels very, very quickly. Yeah. The new Avatar movie won't make $2 billion. No way The Mandalorian makes $2 billion. $2 billion is crazy. Don't get me wrong. I think The Mandalorian and Grogu movie would have to be this mega blockbuster, very, very good movie, word of mouth, all that stuff to get to $2 billion. That's like Force Awakens territory. That's hard to do. $1 billion, not so much. Yeah. Toy Story 5. Does Toy Story 5 come out in May? Is that true? I have no idea. I'm watching The Mandalorian with my brother right now. Nice. By the way, this poll right now, at least we'll leave it up, but it stands at 63% of you say, yes, you are excited for the Rey movie. Honestly, that's a lot higher than I thought it was going to be today. But this movie could be still over 2 years away. And the hype, or the excitement at least, is 63% of you in the chat. And that poll has almost 40 votes on it right now, and we'll leave it up for a little bit. But yeah, I'm telling you it's going to make $2 billion. If it makes $2 billion, that would be like the best possible outcome for Star Wars fans. The return to theaters after over 6 years is $2 billion. That's crazy. Yeah. It's The Devil Wears Prada 2. Its trailer is the most viewed trailer in 2025. This movie's going to make crazy money. I don't even know what that is. Devil Wears Prada 2? The Devil Wears Prada 2. It's the most viewed trailer in 2025? Oh, okay. It's a sequel to that. Yeah, I see. Aha. Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway. Yeah. Emily Blunt, Sydney Sweeney. Holy crap, this is a loaded cast. Stanley Tucci, nice. When did the first one come out? Is it really the most viewed trailer? Let's see. Let's see. It has less views than the Mando trailer. What are we talking about here? This trailer, teaser trailer, has 9.4 million views. That's less than Mando. Unless I'm looking at the wrong trailer here. Unless I got the wrong one. Hang on, let me double check. That's the first one that comes up when I look it up. Yeah, that's the first one. That's the official trailer from 20th Century Studios. Okay. Never saw the first Devil Wears Prada. Don't even know what's going on in that movie. But if that one outperforms the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I will be shocked. Absolutely shocked. Yeah. You're talking about the biggest franchise in the last 48 years versus a one-off movie that's probably 30 years old. Yeah. I can see it making a pretty good amount of money. I think let's see how much the first movie made. How much did Devil Wears Prada make? The first movie came out in... What year did it come out in? Oh, 2006. So 20 years ago. Or almost 20 years ago. It made around 326 to 327. Oh my God. $1 million worldwide. With a budget of 35 million. There you go. That's how you make some money right there. 326 to $7 million worldwide. There you go. So if that makes $1 billion, I will be shocketh. Yeah. Indeed. I think The Mandalorian and Grogu is in a great spot. Originally, Avengers Doomsday was supposed to release in May as well, and that got postponed to December, which is the best possible thing because we know what happened to Solo, a Star Wars story, when it was released in the same month as Avengers Infinity War. It tanked. And Solo's a solid movie. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie, but, it's underrated. And it did not make a lot of money at all. Actually, it lost money, but it still made, $400 million in the box office. But because of Avengers Infinity War, it's competing with Avengers Infinity War. It did not have any win. So, with that, Hollywood Reporter says Devil Wears Prada 2 trailer has 79 million views with 60 million views on Instagram. 79 million on Instagram, 60 million on TikTok, and overall views of 185 million. Don't sleep on it. Yeah, I guess. Sure. I know the Instagram views and the TikTok views are, extreme. Yeah. It's got less on YouTube than The Mandalorian and Grogu does, so. Hashtag make Solo 2 happen. Solo 2 will never happen. However, the Lando movie is technically still in development. All right, let's get back to the topic at hand here, the Rey movie, because we got extremely sidetracked. I don't know how we got to The Mandalorian and Grogu from there. I honestly have no idea. But let's get back to the Rey movie. So, Daisy Ridley had this to say about Starfighter, which, of course, that Kathleen Kennedy is very excited for it, and her and Kathleen Kennedy had a meeting recently, which is good news. Star Wars Starfighter wrapped shooting earlier in December, earlier this month, and is scheduled for a release of May 28th of 2027, so a year and a half from now. It was directed by Sean Levy, written by Jonathan Trooper, and Ryan Gosling and Flynn Gray are the leads, with Matt Smith, Aaron Pierre, Simon Bird, Jamil Westman, Daniel Ings, and Amy Adams rounding up the cast. Meanwhile, the film that is tentatively titled Star Wars New Jedi Order, or The Rey Movie, and would star Daisy Ridley as Rey, does not have a release date or a firm production schedule yet. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is still going to direct, while George Nolfi penned the latest draft following Stephen Knight's departure from the project over a year ago. Wow, that was over a year ago? That's crazy. Stephen Knight was a writer. Before that, Damon Lindelof was a writer. I feel like there was one in between those two, too, but I can't remember. But a lot of different writers. The next Star Wars film is, of course, The Mandalorian and Grogu. But with that, not very much. Of course, she's saying it will be worth the wait, and I kind of agree with her. I think any continuation of the Rey character will help. I mean, unless it's, of course, horrible. But you know what I mean. Any continuation of the Rey character will help. Just like any continuation of any character could help drastically. I know Rey is a very divisive character, to say the least. So many people calling her a Mary Sue, or whatever you want to call her. I personally thought she was set up, especially in The Force Awakens, as a very intriguing character. A character whose parents sort of abandoned her, and we don't know why. She's the scavenger on Jakku. Mysteriously very, very powerful in it being because she is a Palpatine, but we didn't know it at the time. Her setup in The Force Awakens was really, really cool. If she was a Palpatine from day one, I would have been more excited about it. Palpatine having a granddaughter, or I guess a daughter, or I guess not even related to the old man because it's a clone of him. I don't know. But if it was originally supposed to be that, it would have been really intriguing and a lot cooler, I think. When you look back now and she holds the lightsaber like this, like Palpatine does in the Revenge of the Sith, or, she's shooting lightning bolts from her fingertips. Shout out Better Call Saul. The Palpatine connection is really cool if done correctly. Now, continuations of that story, continuations of the Rey character, especially with her yellow lightsaber, because tell me in the chat what your favorite color of lightsaber is. Mine might be yellow. Every character who has a yellow lightsaber, it just looks so cool. And that final shot of Rey in The Rise of Skywalker is not by any means my favorite Star Wars movie, but that shot of her with the yellow lightsaber is just so awesome because of the yellow lightsaber. So, sorry, sidetracked. But getting more of Rey, more of Finn, more of Poe, and seeing what the galaxy looks like beyond the sequel trilogy, beyond the Skywalker bloodline, will be so cool to see. The new government, the new Jedi and younglings that are being trained, what the Jedi Order looks like and how it's different from the Jedi Orders that came before. All that stuff has me really, really excited for the Rey movie. But that's why I think it'll be, quote unquote, worth the wait. But that's just me. We got a bunch of Sith in this chat, a bunch of red lightsabers. Okay, red lightsabers are pretty badass. Don't get me wrong. Especially Kylo Ren's, the crackling blade. Vader's is cool. Palpatine, I love Palpatine's hilt. The red is awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. It's cool. But you're all Sith Lords.
Incorrect.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. So that's the update that Daisy Ridley has given us for the Rey movie. The latest rumor that we have had is that it will begin filming in April of next year. I'll believe that when I see it because we've been talking about this movie for 2.5 years now, and it still hasn't begun filming. But April is supposedly when it will begin filming. It would be nice for at Star Wars Celebration in 2027, the 50th anniversary, that they had a Rey movie trailer. That would mean that they would have to start filming in 2026, but that's not a crazy goal. So that would be what I would hope for. Yeah. That would be what I would hope for. She is a Skywalker. Technically, yes, I suppose she is a Skywalker now, but she's a Palpatine forever. Evil! Evil! We got some purple lightsabers. Green. Green's a good one. Blue, of course. Blue is iconic. And, of course, Max Rebo said that. Green is great. Purple's great. Green and red. Okay. Yeah. There's certain characters that make certain colors iconic. When you think purple, of course, you think Mace Windu. When you think of green, I think personally of either Qui-Gon or Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi. When you think of blue, you think Anakin or Obi-Wan. I guess I'd think of Obi-Wan first. When you think red, you think Vader or Maul or Kylo Ren. But when it comes to yellow, I don't know. I'd think of either like Legends Plo Koon or I guess Rey, a Temple Guard. I just really like yellow. You know? I don't know what it is. Chimere. Oh my God. Chimere's lightsaber, the detachable little mini and what. Okay, don't get me started on the Acolyte. We talk about it for more than 10 hours. But when it comes to the Rey movie, not a lot in terms of an update. Hoping for it to start filming in April, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. Daisy Ridley still attached, still having meetings with Kathleen Kennedy seemingly on the regular, which is good news. But we shall see. What does give me hope, too, is the excitement level in the chat. Because you see a lot of people, even with people who don't like the sequels, they want a continuation of those characters' stories. Because they think that maybe the writing wasn't good enough, and if good writing is put to these characters, then we can have peace. But let me end this poll, and I'll start up a new one. But let me end this poll. Let's see where it ended at. 65% of you, with almost 50 votes, 65% of you say yes, you are excited for the Rey movie, and with it not having filmed or any really solid updates, that's really good to see. It's really good to see. So I'm excited for it too. I'm not more excited than I am for any project that comes before it, but I am still excited. Now let's put up the next poll. Let's switch gears a little bit here to something quite interesting that crossed my desk. And it's very prevalent now with the Stranger Things coming to an end tomorrow. Do you want, oh, that's not how you spell you. Do you want Millie Bobby Brown to come to Star Wars? Yes or no? The fan cast is something that has been so strong in the Star Wars community. People fan casting Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano, which did become true. People fan casting, I believe, for a long time, Lars Mikkelsen as Thrawn because he voices the character in Rebels. They wanted to see him in live action. Also, ones that didn't happen or haven't happened yet, you have Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan. I don't know if that will ever happen at this point. Keanu Reeves is, I think, 60 years old now, and if we're doing Revan, I'd want a young Revan, at least to start. So, I don't know about that. Some other fan casts. Oh, young Palpatine, Tom Hiddleston, and I'd still love that. A little young Palpatine show with Tom Hiddleston as young Palpatine would be great. There's some others that I can't think of right now. But one of the biggest ones has been Millie Bobby Brown as Leia. And as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of the recast. But this one has got me thinking. This one has got me thinking that maybe I'd be okay with it. Because here's the deal. Everybody wanted Sebastian Stan to play Luke Skywalker. Sebastian Stan, there's these older images of him where he looked quite a bit like Mark Hamill, and they put his face on Luke Skywalker's face, and it looked almost indistinguishable. The same thing has been said and has happened with Millie Bobby Brown. Take a look at this. This one is pretty crazy. It's a little grainy, but look at this. Oh, hang on. On the left, you have, of course, Carrie Fisher, R.I.P., the GOAT herself. Carrie Fisher as Leia back in 1977. On the right, you have Leia deep-faked with Millie Bobby Brown's face atop of it. Now, there's more. This was, I don't know who the Han Solo is here. I don't know. Actually, let's try this. Instead, we'll save this. Oh, I almost forgot about this until I just saved that. We do have a giveaway today. So if you are not yet a member, before the end of this live stream, join and become join the people who love Star Wars, and you get a 1 in like 90-ish chance to win this giveaway, which is this Lego Star Wars, literally Lego Star Wars, which we're giving away later today. 700 pieces, very, very cool. And I mean, how to end a year with a giveaway than a Star Wars sign? So that's the giveaway for later today. That just reminded me. Thankfully, I would have forgot completely. But take a look at this. I don't know who this is on the top, but he looks a whole lot like Harrison Ford, whoever it is. But look at this. I've always said no to deepfakes because there would be a disconnect there. For example, Bail Organa in Andor Season 2. That is clearly not Bail Organa. And it does take me out of it, at least a little bit. He's not a main character, so it's not that big a deal. It's still about Cassie, and it's still about Mon Mothma. It's not that big a deal. When Leia comes on screen, Bail Organa is like a minor character in Star Wars. When Princess Leia comes on screen, it has to look like Carrie Fisher. It has to look like the character. And this, I think, personally, does the job. It does the job. Is that Alden up top? If that's Alden Ehrenreich, that's crazy. But I don't think it is. I don't know. I think this does the job. She looks Oh So Similar is another one. This one's not as good, but, it still gets the point across. Yeah, that one's not as good. I like this one. This one's a little bit grainy, but this one's by far the best. I mean, come on. Zabo with the very generous $5 holla, I appreciate that, says, recast for the win. I hate the deep fakes. I know a lot of you guys are very, tell me in the chat, are you team deep fake or team recast? Tell me in the chat. I've always been team deep fake. And the reasoning for that is because they have been so successful with it. If you look back at the Mandalorian Season 2 where Luke Skywalker shows up, he looks, and even that was not like the best deepfake that they could do. He looks like Luke Skywalker. There's no disconnect. There is no, oh my God, who is that? It's clearly Luke Skywalker. Clearly. When Bail Organa shows up in Andor, they have to introduce him by going, hello, Senator Organa, or whatever they did. They had to specify who that was because there was zero chance you look at that guy, a completely different actor, and see it as Bail Organa. Zero chance. So with Luke, when he shows up on screen and he has the green lightsaber, the metal hand, the cloak on, and his hood comes off, there's zero denying that that's Luke Skywalker. Zero. So when it comes to Leia and when it comes to Han, it has to be the exact same way. And the deepfake has done the job. Leia in Rogue One is great. Tarkin in Rogue One is great. Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett is great. Anakin Skywalker in The World Between Worlds in Ahsoka is great. It has to be instantaneous. Zero, is that this character? And if you recast them, if you recast the actor, immediately you might lose that. Unless the actor or actress looks so much like the original character, original actor, that it's zero disconnect. And I think with Millie Bobby Brown, you can achieve that. I don't want to see a Star Wars show or movie where I sit in the theater and a character pops up on screen that's dressed like Han Solo and doesn't look like him. His face looks different. I would hate it. So unless you find an actor, and Alden did a good job, but he's a young Han, so there can be some sort of disconnect. There's a 10-plus year difference there. 10-plus years can change a person's appearance. This is right after the original trilogy. These characters have to look oh so similar, or else it's going to be wrong. And that's why I like the deepfake. That is why I am team deepfake. However, Millie Bobby Brown has thrown a wrench in my plans because it does look good. It does look like it can work. But tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. I think with a deepfake, you could put anyone on there. I just want to see Millie Bobby Brown just dressed as Leia with no AI. I don't think they would have to deepfake her face. Like, that looks enough like if you were to show me a video or a scene of this, like an entire scene where Millie Bobby Brown is Leia, where it looks exactly like this, where it's really, really well done, I would not be able to notice. I mean, obviously I would, but, it wouldn't be a drastic change that takes me out of the scene. And also, when you do the deepfake, you can bring back the actor or actress who plays the character. For example, with Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian and in the Book of Boba Fett, they brought back Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill is playing the character, and they just deepfake him. They use a different actor who looks like a younger Luke, and then they just combine the two performances with the deepfake technology, and they make a young Luke. With Carrie Fisher, who is no longer with us, you can't do that. So that becomes a very interesting conversation. Same thing with Baylan Skoll in Ahsoka Season 2. Now, that's different. Baylan Skoll as a character versus Leia Organa as a character. They're not even in the same realm. You're talking about a main trio character from the original trilogy and Baylan Skoll, who I love Baylan Skoll, don't get me wrong, but he's only in one season of Ahsoka. He's not even a main character, or he's not even the main character. I guess he's kind of the main villain after Thrawn and after Mork and Elsbeth. But he's a main character. But he's only in one season. That's all we have of him. So the deepfake versus recast there is a different conversation than Leia Organa. But that's why this hasn't happened already. This is why we haven't seen Leia, Han. I guess we have seen Luke, but this is why we haven't seen the original trio together on screen yet in the Mandoverse, because this is a conversation that's being had over at Lucasfilm over and over and over again, because it's not a simple yes or no question. It's not a simple, okay, let's just deepfake all of them. Because then do you bring back Harrison Ford? What if he doesn't want to do it? What do you do with Carrie Fisher? What do you do with the... There's so many questions. There's so many things. And if you're going to recast, they got to be the most look-alike actors of all time, which is not easy to accomplish. But why is this conversation of Millie Bobby Brown being brought up today? The last live stream of 2025. I'm glad you asked. Stranger Things 5 comes to an end tomorrow. Now, of course, no spoilers in the chat for Stranger Things 5. Let's, be respectful and courteous to people who haven't had the chance to watch it or, the whole dealio. But the conversation of Millie Bobby Brown coming to Star Wars has been reignited because she's been talking about Star Wars. In interviews, in promotion for the show, she has mentioned Star Wars multiple times. One of them being her Letterboxd top 4 movies, where she put Revenge of the Sith in one of her top 4 movies. Now, granted, she did preface it by saying that her husband, Jake, I couldn't think of his first name, Jake Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi, right? Yeah, Jake Bon Jovi. She said that he's this huge Star Wars fan, and she would kill him if he would kill her if she didn't put it on her top 4. So she put it on her top 4. Granted, there's been so much of Millie Bobby Brown talking about Star Wars in the past, where she dressed up as Leia for Halloween one year because fans were sort of doing this whole fan casting thing with her as Leia. It's been this constant thing over the last, 5 or 6 years, where people have wanted her to play a Leia Organa. Now, granted, when the first sort of conversation of this happened, she was still, maybe 15 or 16 years old. So she would have been a really, really young Leia. It would have been like doing a prequel to the original trilogy. Now, how old is Millie Bobby Brown? I don't even know. 22, 23? How old is Millie Bobby Brown, chat? Somebody help me out. Now she's getting to the age that Leia would be in the Mandoverse, where we are getting Luke, Leia, and Han, or at least stories being told about those characters right now in the timeline, post-original trilogy. That's how old Leia would be, because she's 19 in the first movie. And it's about 3 years, give or take, for the original trilogy. So I guess she'd still be a little bit young, but yeah, because she'd be like 22 by the end of it, and then it's still like 5 years later, so she'd be like 27. So we're talking, a little bit older. She's 21. Oh my gosh, she's only 21? 22? Hang on, let's look it up. How old is Millie Bobby Brown? Wow, she's only 21. That's insane. But she'll be 22 in a couple months. Okay, so can a 22-year-old pull off a 25 or 27, 27-year-old? Probably. But she might also not appear on screen for another 2 or 3 years. So she'll be 25 or 24 playing 27, which would make sense, which would work. Yeah. There's also the conversation of Stranger Things. Now, if you haven't watched Stranger Things, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to give any spoilers right now. But I must say, Volume 1 came out on Thanksgiving, and for the most part, people loved it. Volume 2 comes out on Christmas. Very mixed bag. Now, I will say, I watched all 3 episodes on the day after Christmas without having seen anybody's take online or anything of that sort. I thought not only was it great, but I thought it was like the perfect setup for what we're getting this week in the finale. Again, without giving any spoilers away, it's almost like when I went online after, the complaints that people had were like they didn't watch the show. it was almost like they were just purposefully looking at the scene and ignoring all the words that were said in it. Like the complaints were like, this didn't happen. And I was like, did you watch it? Or this was confusing. Do you pay attention? It's almost like somebody who read the cliff notes of the 3 episodes was complaining about it online. It's like they almost didn't pay attention. Now, granted, there are some valid complaints, and there always have been when it comes to Stranger Things. It is a goofy show about kids in the 80s who play Dungeons and Dragons, and it's about them getting bullied and all this. It's those themes, but that's always been what the show is. What do you expect it to change in the last season? Oh, it's frustrating. However, some of the, like, it reminds me of Star Wars. So much it reminds me of Star Wars, not in the way that, like, Vecna is like Vader and all that other stuff. Not in those ways. More so in the ways that the fandom is making theories and getting hyped up about it. Stranger Things has gotten to the level of fandom that Star Wars has been in for so many years that people are making a lot of money crapping on it. We talk about this all the time on this channel, but so many people talk about Star Wars in a negative light because they make money on it. Whether they like a show or don't like a show, it doesn't change their mind because they got to make a paycheck, and that means they have to crap on the show. And Stranger Things has hit that level of popularity where so many people online can make a shit ton of money because they crap on the show. It gets views, it gets clicks, it gets all this stuff. So why would they like something when they can make money hating it? Now, I'm not saying that that's the only thing that happened. Of course not. And that's not how Star Wars works either. But it is a portion of it now with Stranger Things that wasn't there before. Stranger Things has really blown up in this last season, and I guess in season 4 too. But in the early seasons, it was like a well-kept secret. Like people, if you watch Stranger Things, you were sort of a nerd, or you sort of an outcast type thing. Like it wasn't the popular thing that it was in season 3, 4, and 5 that it is now. And now that it is popular, it draws those same people that draw to Star Wars. The quote-unquote haters, if you will. Not that there, again, isn't valid criticisms for Star Wars or valid criticisms for Stranger Things, but it can get lost in the mix of just, this is bad because I don't like it, because it's, bad writing, even though I don't pay attention. But that, yeah. So there's that. But all of that to say, I love me some Stranger Things 5, and I'm really excited for the finale tomorrow. All that to say, this conversation of Millie Bobby Brown coming to Star Wars has been more prevalent than ever when it comes to her playing Leia, this fan cast that's been going around for years and years because she looks so much like a young Carrie Fisher. But all that to say, are you a fan of this? Do you want this to happen? Would you want Millie Bobby Brown to play a recasted Princess Leia in the Mandoverse? Yes or no? And if not, would you still prefer her to just come to Star Wars? She doesn't have to play Leia, although she does look an awful lot like Leia. She doesn't have to play Leia. This just looks really cool and really good, but it doesn't have to be that. She could play any character in Star Wars. For God's sakes, we're getting Ryan Gosling in Star Wars. Like, we're getting some pretty big actors and actresses in Star Wars. No, I don't want her to play Leia, but yes, I want her in Star Wars. Okay. Interesting. To be honest, you wouldn't come out like that in a small town in the 80s. I'm confused. I read that so completely wrong. Okay, I'm not going to answer that because of spoilers. I just thought you meant like you wouldn't grow up like that if you grew up in the 80s. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I completely misread that. But yes, I just don't want to get into spoilers. I don't want to get into spoilers. So a lot of people really like the idea, it seems like, based off the poll and based off the chat, of Millie Bobby Brown coming to Star Wars, being in the Star Wars universe. But it is a mixed bag on whether she should play Leia or not. She could be a Leia clone, LOL. I don't know about that. I don't think we should be cloning Leia. Yeah. I don't think so. So my take is, as much as I am pro deepfake and anti recast, I wouldn't be opposed to this. I wouldn't. It'd be one of very few recasts I'd be okay with. And I don't know if you just recast one of them and keep deepfaking Luke and Han, or start deepfaking Han and keep deepfaking Luke. Bring back Harrison, bring back Mark Hamill again, and do their characters deepfaked, and then just recast for one of them. I don't know. I really don't. But I am definitely on board with Millie Bobby Brown coming to Star Wars. 100%. I've watched her all through 5 seasons of Stranger Things, and she's a great actress. So I'd be 100% down for any role they want to give her in Star Wars. But if she wants to be Leia, or if they want her to be Leia, Lucasfilm that is, I'd be down with it. Shockingly, a big surprise to end 2025, I'd be down with the recast. I know. Craziness. Absolutely insane. But I'd be down with it. I would be down. So, I don't know. Yes, for a recast, as long as her acting style tones down from what she's been doing so far. It doesn't fit for Leia's type of speech. Yeah, it would be kind of, I mean, she has the English accent down, that's for sure. But she's playing a character, you know? She'd be playing Leia. She'd be actually playing Carrie Fisher playing Leia at the same time. Yeah. Who do you think they're going to kill off in the last show of the year? It's a great question. I honestly think no one's safe. I know if you asked me this like a week and a half ago before Volume 2, or even 3 months ago before Volume 1, I'd say definitely Steve. I'd say they've been setting up Steve to die so much. But now I'm like, I don't know. I feel like everybody is on the chopping block. They've been sort of, again, without trying to give away any spoilers, they've been giving moments for each character throughout the season where they're almost setting it up like anyone could die. I wouldn't be shocked if 11 died, but I wouldn't be shocked if she didn't. The only characters I would be like, oh my God, they killed them off, would be like Joyce or Mike or Dustin. If they kill off Dustin, I'm going to lose it. But I really don't know. Like, I wouldn't be shocked with nearly anybody. I wouldn't be shocked. Anybody. Crazy. Okay. But yeah, I mean, without going into any spoilers, anybody could die. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. They've done such a good job with this season. Yeah. This isn't a Stranger Things stream. Yes, you're right. Okay, let's get back to Star Wars. The Stranger Things connection is there, of course, with Millie Bobby Brown, which we're talking about today. But yes, back to Star Wars. Back to Star Wars. I asked who you were going to kill off for the last show of the year, meaning this live. Oh, okay. I read that completely wrong then. Second chat I've read completely wrong. I read the words correctly, but I just took it the wrong way. Okay, sure. Are you going to kill off Millie Bobby Brown as Leia? No, because Leia's already dead. And guess what? If we had a channel around that time when The Last Jedi was coming out, I probably would have predicted that Leia was going to die, and you would have all laughed at me. And guess what? She did die. Okay, sorry. Who am I going to kill off on today's live stream? Well, we haven't started talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu yet, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Okay. Let's talk about 2026 for a second here. So we have a Mandalorian and Grogu poster, one that is up at select movie theaters around the world, so we can take a look at that. And we got to talk about just what's coming in 2026, including the Mandalorian and Grogu, and we do have some Mando news as well. So let's start with the poster. Yeah. Let's start with the poster. This Mandalorian and Grogu cardboard cutout can be seen at select theaters around the world. I have not seen it. Also, I have not been to the movies in a long time, so I don't really, I wouldn't have seen it. But this is very similar to the poster that we got all those months ago with slight variation. Now, if we zoom in here, the coolest part about this to me is this slithery snake looking thing. So yes, you got the Razor Crest up there, the new Razor Crest. Din Djarin, how you doing? You know, I've been trying to kill you off for a while now. Do you know that? This chat just doesn't believe me. I know you're going to die. I mean, it's like 99% guarantee at this point. You know, I think it's going to hurt Grogu, of course. You know, it'll be a tough time, but I think they just won't accept it because they love you. And I love you too. Don't get me wrong. You're a great character. You've had your time. You know, you've done your time. It's time to go. I think you will serve the story a lot better, you know, as a dead character. I think you'll pull all your friends together. You know those friends you made in your living state? Yeah, those people like Bo-Katan and Boba Fett. Yeah, all your friends. They'll come together behind your death. It'll be like a great, you know, Avengers Assemble type thing, and they'll take down Grand Admiral Thrawn. It'll be a really cool trilogy. Don't get me wrong. You just won't be there. You just won't be there. We can still be friends, though, right? Cool. Yeah. Fantastic. Then you have Grogu on his back, and he's doing fine. You got Sigourney Weaver over there. But this thing is very weird to me. This right here. We've gotten mentions of the Hutts. We've gotten Sigourney in the trailer. We've gotten Zeb Orrelios in the trailer. We've gotten these Anzellans in the trailer. We've gotten the AT Walkers in the trailer. This right here, this giant, slithery snake-looking thing, nothing. We got nothing on this. Literally nothing. No leaks about it. No trailers about it. It's in nothing but the poster. And in the poster, it's a little, you know, side piece. And this is where we're getting sort of it more in focus. This is going to be an action-packed movie, to say the least. We've gotten in the trailers dogfights in space with the Razor Crest. We've gotten a gladiator arena fight scenes with Din Djarin fighting the hollow chess pieces from the Millennium Falcon. We've gotten Stinky the Hutt in a gladiator scene. We've gotten Zeb Orrelios in action in the trailer. A lot of action. This looks pretty significant, especially if it's on the poster. Din's in water too. Yes, that's also very important. He's in water. I really, 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 really doubt this is the Mythosaur. Like, really doubt it. Because the Mythosaur is this sort of giant dragon. And we actually, where was that? The Mythosaur is in one of the books. Like one of the concept art books or one of the books. I just don't know if I have it. Either way, the Mythosaur has been seen in canon. And it's this giant sort of dragon-looking thing. It doesn't look like this. This looks like a snake. So what this creature is, I don't know. How the hell Din Djarin's going to go toe-to-toe with it? Haven't a clue. But he is in water. And we do get Grogu swimming in water in the trailer as well. But what do we think, chat? What the hell is this thing? And how does it fit into the story? Like, what is this? What is happening here? We got a snowy planet in the trailer. We got the city-looking planet in the trailer where the arena scene is happening and all the cool fighting stuff. We got Adelphi Base in the trailer. Other than Grogu swimming in the water, we don't have any of this. It's the sleeper on Dathomir? Oh my god. If this was Dathomir, that would be insane. I don't think this is Dathomir. I hope not. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. When I see this water, the first thing I think of is Mandalore. There has been zero reporting of Mandalore being in the movie, but the first thing I think of is Mandalore. Because that's where we see in the caves Din Djarin bathe in the waters, and that's where we see the Mythosaur. I have no idea what it is, but I can't wait to find out, though. It is exciting. That's the best part about the marketing for this movie is every little detail that we get has got me more and more and more exciting. I think they're keeping Dathomir for Ahsoka season 2. Yeah, me too. Maybe like a tease at it at the end of the movie, but nothing. Yeah, they're definitely saving it for Ahsoka season 2. Yeah. What a year it's going to be for moviegoers and streamers. Oh my God, yes. Actually, now that you brought that up, you guys tell me what you think this giant creature is in the chat. Now that you brought that up, I had this pulled up. Take a look at this. 2026 is going to be the year of sequels. Okay? And if you don't believe me, first and foremost, we'll go through the big four right here. Oh, don't look on the right. Don't look. You got the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which is a sequel to the Super Mario movie. Toy Story 5. Dune Part 3. And Avengers Doomsday. Now take a look at this list. This is insane. Sequels coming in 2026. This is just sequels. Fall 2. I don't know what that is. Scream 7, of course. Jumanji 4. Didn't even know there was 3 of them. I thought there was only 1. Minions 3. Toy Story 5. Greenland 2. Angry Birds. Oh, sorry, I skipped Dune. Dune Part 3. Angry Birds 3. Scary Movie 6. Focker-in-Law, which is a sequel to Meet the Fockers. Violent Night 2. Enola Holmes 3, which is actually Millie Bobby Brown. Shout out. I love how they did this in order of how long the title is. Like it's like a Christmas tree. Air Bud Returns? No way. Air Bud Returns in 2026? Let's freaking go. Oh my.
This is where the fun begins.
Mortal Kombat 2. Practical Magic 2. Never heard of the first one. Super Troopers 3. Nice. Avengers Doomsday. It's not a 2, but it is a sequel. The Social Reckoning. Is that a sequel to The Social Network? That's crazy. Heartstopper Forever. Don't know what that is. The Devil Wears Prada 2. That's the second time it's been brought up on this live stream. Shocker. The Mandalorian and Grogu, which I guess, yeah, is a sequel for sure to The Mandalorian. The Stranger, Chapter 3. Paw Patrol, the Dino movie.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I can't talk about that movie. I'll start killing off characters. Then we have Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. That's really stupid. Just do Ready or Not, Here I Come. Why is it Ready or Not 2, Here I Come? That is the stupidest title I've ever seen in my life. Okay, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Of course, the 4th Spider-Man of the Tom Holland universe. The Adventures of Cliff Booth? Have no idea. Insidious? They're making another Insidious movie? That's wild. The Super Mario Galaxy movie 28 years later, The Bone Temple, and Peaky Blinders. I'm excited for that one. Peaky Blinders is a great show. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. It's actually one of the highest rated shows on IMDb. Like every episode is ridiculously highly rated. So go check that out. But that movie comes out next year. Look at all these sequels. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 sequels. 30 of the movies coming out in 2026 are sequels. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. That's not to mention even original ideas. You got like movies like The Odyssey coming out next year, which I guess is an original idea, but it's an original movie coming out in 2026. So a lot of movies and shows coming in 2026 that are going to be huge. Not just for Star Wars, because yes, you got the big 3 with Maul, Shadow Lord, Ahsoka Season 2, and The Mandalorian and Grogu. But for shows, you got The Boys Season 5, which is the last season, Invincible Season 4, a bunch of Marvel shows, the Green Lantern show, which is going under the radar, and some other shows. I forget, but I'm sure I'm forgetting some big ones too. But it's going to be a wild, wild year for just content in general for 2026, which has got me really, really hyped up. But going back to The Mandalorian, we got this awesome poster with this creepy-looking snake. Creepy-looking snake. What do we think? I hope it's Mandalore. Because if it's Mandalore, that means all the leaks are wrong. That means we're going back. We're getting Bo-Katan. We're getting the armor. We're getting all the characters that we know and love from The Mandalorian's first 3 seasons. And it will just...
This is where the fun begins.
We've barely gotten the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Barely. I mean, sorry, Mandalore. I said Mandalore. Blah. We've barely gotten Mandalore in live action. Other than season 3, that's it. We've gotten Mandalore quite a bit in animation, in Rebels, in Clone Wars, in... I guess that's it. Oh. But we've barely gotten it at all in live action. So, if this is Mandalore, if we're getting the home world, that'd be pretty awesome. But this is the new poster that we got. This is in select theaters right now. Cardboard cutout. We do have a little bit more Mandalorian and Grogu news. The starring Pedro Pascal as Din Djarin and Grogu as himself, of course. And only in theaters on May 22nd. As we talked about last stream, though, they're pumping this in the IMAX stuff with the countdown and everything like that, which is really, really cool. In even bigger news, maybe the biggest news of 2025 and 2026. How do I hype this up even more? The biggest news you will hear in your life. And every generation after your life. This is the biggest news of all time. That makes sense? So if you are not prepared yet, then get even more excited. Get even more excited. Okay? The Mandalorian and Grogu is coming to McDonald's Happy Meals in May 2026. Yes! Yes! I don't remember the last time I've had McDonald's. It's probably been, I don't know, 10 plus years. But this is where the fun begins. This is incredible. I literally haven't had McDonald's in a million years, but this is how you know they're pulling out all the stops. I had you guys thinking for a second, didn't I? Can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Bum, bum. See, some people are actually excited about it. In all seriousness, though, we do have some other Mando news. Let me scroll up here. Yeah. The art for The Mandalorian and Grogu was delayed. It was supposed to come out in April, and now it's coming out in November. And the reasoning for this is because the concept and creations of the elements that of the Clan of Two first big screen adventure. So literally the concept art and creation of this movie was going to be released a month before the movie. So no big surprise that this is being delayed, but it also does include artwork and moments from Mando Season 3, as well as Book of Boba Fett, which, by the way, the Book of Boba Fett is celebrating its 4-year anniversary, either today or yesterday. But I think it's today. So Book of Boba Fett's celebrating its 4-year anniversary, and it's finally, after 4 years, well, actually now probably 5 years, because it's November of next year, after 5 years, is getting a art book, which is great. But no surprise there, that is being delayed until November, so it doesn't spoil the whole movie. Imagine. What's crazy to me is back in the prequel trilogy days, back in the early 2000s, they just spoiled the whole movie a month before the movie came out. Because they would drop the novelization of the movie, or they'd drop a video game of the movie, or they'd just do whatever. Like, it wasn't like it is today, where we dissect every single thing that comes out. There was no internet. There was no people who love Star Wars. There was nothing like this. I guess there were people who loved Star Wars, but I'm talking about, the community that we have today. They literally spoiled the movies before they were released, which is so crazy to me. I can't imagine that being the case today, but it almost was. This art book almost came out a month before this movie released, which is wild. So there's that. That has been delayed until November, which is very cool. I want to take a second now before we get into our giveaway and our last little bits of news for the day, I saw somebody talking about, Mike, what'd you get for Christmas? And I told you guys about the huge wang. I mean, whoa. Oh, if somebody could go back and count how many times I've said huge wang on chat, on live streams, that'd be incredible. In 2025, just a massive cut of that would be fantastic. Okay. Yeah, Qui-Gon's death. Qui-Gon's death was literally spoiled due to the soundtrack that came out months before the movie came out, which is just ridiculous. So, Hu Yang, I did get from Samantha a pop figure of the GOAT himself, Professor Hu Yang. So there's that. And this is from Ahsoka Season 1. As you can see on the back, you got Chopper and Hera and Ahsoka and our boy Marok, who will be in Maul Shadow Lord, which is really cool. So I got that. I also got some other cool things. This is... So it says A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. They're playing cards. Let me show you. First of all, very cool little, but they're playing cards. They're playing cards. I promise. There we go. Where each card has a picture of a character on it, like, let's see. C3PO. Oh, see, what the hell? This is backwards, so my hands are weird. C3PO is the 3. Let me see. Hang on. Chewbacca is 10, because, of course. Tusken Raider is 7. Princess Leia is the queen, even though she's a princess. Naturally. Vader is the king. Luke is the ace. R2-D2. R2-D2. Tarkin is a 5, because why not? The Jawas are 8. Nice. And the Jack is Han Solo. A random 9 is Obi-Wan Kenobi, by the way. The 9. So there's that. I got that. That's really cool. But the coolest thing I probably got Star Wars related. I got a bunch of shirts and other things too like that. But probably the coolest thing I got Star Wars related is this. Does anybody know what this is? Does anybody know what this is? Anybody? 50 Thunder with a very generous $5 holla says McDonald's should honor their customers with a free meal if your food happens to be order 66. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. They should do that. But I appreciate the super chat. Some crazy Hu Yang comments in there. Do we know what this is? No, it's not just a random stick popping out of the side. It makes an image. Yes. It's Order 66. Kind of. All right, take a look at this. Let me plug it in first because it starts spinning as soon as I plug it in. So it's going to start spinning here. Or maybe it won't. Oh, is this not plugged in? Are you serious? Hang on, chat. I'll be right back. I got to plug this in. 1 sec. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. What did you get for Christmas? Ugh. I'm back. Take 2. Take 2. Let's try that again. So now, if I plug this thing in, it will start spinning. Hang on. I'm going to put it down so I can plug it in. All right. Now, aha, there it goes. So, now it starts spinning and showing holograms. So we're going to, like that. That's so cool. I'm not moving. It's moving on its own. But here we got some Star Wars. This is Leia. Oh, why is it not? Focus on the Leia, not me. Can you hear it? It's the message from Leia. Really not coming through well on the screen, but it looks a lot better in real life. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only help. Okay, next. Look at that. This is a wanted thing from the Mandalorian. You remember that guy from the Mandalorian? Again, hard to see. The Death Star plans. Look at this thing. I just have the Death Star plans now. You know, I could just go blow up the Death Star whenever I want. This is a nice TIE Interceptor looking thing. We're about to get to Order 66. This is the Boonta Eve pod race sign. It's, again, not going to focus on it. It's too bright or something. But it is the Boonta Eve thing. This is a Coca-Cola ad. Here we go. There you go. Execute Order 66. I think there's actually a Myth. Oh, there's that guy too again. There's a Mythazar one. Or yeah, that. The Mythazar signet in its spins. So that's pretty cool. I don't understand how it works, but it is very cool. So then if I unplug it, it just stops spinning. That's awesome. So I got that too. It's great being a Star Wars fan because you just get a lot of Star Wars stuff for Christmas. That's, you know, some of the cool stuff I got. I mean, I got some other stuff too, but I just don't have it downstairs and I guess on me. Any posters though? Oh, on the thing? No, I don't think so. Other than the Boonta Eve thing. Yeah. How much was that, Mike? I don't know. I got it for free. Santa brought it to me. Don't you know? So, I mean, it probably cost them the service of some elves. I don't know. All right, let's get back on topic here. God. Should we do our giveaway now? Let's do our giveaway. Let's do that. So last week we had a giveaway because, you know, it was Christmas time in the holiday season, and I felt like doing a giveaway. Now we're going to do a giveaway because it's the end of the month, and we do a giveaway at the end of every month. So today's giveaway, if you missed it earlier, is this Lego Star Wars. Literally. Lego Star Wars. It's a sign for Star Wars. It's really, really cool. So if you're not yet a member, this is your last chance to join and become a member of the people who love Star Wars, help out the channel, and of course get a 1 in whatever chance to win this giveaway. So let me check at how many members we are at right this second. Let us check. Let us see. Hang on, members. See all members. We are at 96 members. I believe that's where we were last week too, right? So we haven't gained and we haven't lost, which is good. So we have 96 members. If this is your final chance to join right now, if you see your name on here, you have a 1 in 96 chance to win the Lego Star Wars sign. So if you have not done that already, go check it out. Did you copy that into a spreadsheet yet, Mike? No. No, I didn't. That's a great idea. That is a great idea. Indeed it is. The amount of Legos that I have is absolutely insane because I'm a Star Wars fan and Lego Star Wars is a big deal. I get a lot of Lego Star Wars. The thing is I'm not the biggest Lego builder in the world. Maybe we could do like some members only live streams or something. Live streams just building Legos because I don't build them on my own time. I don't know what it is. I do have the Mos Eisley Lego set, which I did build actually with a friend. So I have that. And then I have, of course, the Legos that are behind me. Oh, other way. The Legos that are behind me right there that I did build. But I have so many right off screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think 9 unbuilt Lego sets. 9 unbuilt Lego sets. Some bigger, some smaller, some really big. Like that one over there is what, 800 pieces? a lot of pieces. So I got a bunch of Lego sets that I have not built yet, but I know a lot of you guys love Legos. That's why the giveaway today is Legos. So, yeah. Crazy. So many of those people don't attend live streams. Well, yes and no. Not everybody can make a live stream every day, obviously, and we stream in the middle of the day. So when you see the live streams, like right now we have like 55 people watching currently. And it fluctuates during the live stream. Earlier we had 40, earlier we had 60, and who knows where we'll go from here. But it does fluctuate. When it's an off time like this, we are usually in the 50s or upwards of, depending on the news. And then when a show comes out, we could be in the hundreds. So it depends on the Star Wars news. It depends on what's coming out, how many people we have during these live streams. And not everybody can make it at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday. So people watch it on the replay. That's why our live streams, although we only have 50 people here, end up getting upwards of 1,000 views or close to it because people watch it on the playback, which is awesome. Shout out to you playback people. If you're watching it right now and you're a playback person, put it in the comments. Say, hey, I'm a playback person and my name is Anakin and I'm a person and I'm a playback person and my name is Anakin. Now, say something cooler than that. But yeah, so that's sort of how it works. You know, not everybody can make it live and be here live. So, with that being said, let's spin the wheel. Let's spin the wheel. You have a 1 in 96 chance to win the Lego Star Wars giveaway today. Spin it. Such a satisfying sound right there. It really is. Oh, we are up towards the top here. 73. All right, let's 73. How should we do this? Start from the top and count down. So 96, 95, 94, 93, 92, 91, 90 is Erica. 89, 88, 87, 86, 85, 84, 83, 82, 81, 80 is Mug. What was the number? 73? 79, 78, 77, 76, 75, 74, 73. X-E-M-E-E-X. X-E-M-E-X. Padawan for 13 months. You have won the giveaway. Hit me up. Let me write that down so I don't forget it. X-E-M-E-E-X. Circled. Boom. Hit me up on Instagram, Discord, Twitter, anywhere you can message me so I can get that out to you as soon as possible. Congratulations. You have won the Star Wars Lego sign. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the members' supports. It's the best way to support the channel is becoming a member. So I appreciate that quite a bit. Oh, and other Mando news as well. We have a little bit more Mando news. I appreciate the hearts, guys. I really, really do. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Grief Karga, previously unnamed assistant droid, has been renamed CW24 to honor the late, great Carl Weathers. Now, 24, I don't know the significance. Did he pass away in 2024? He may have passed away in 2024. Let me check. Carl. He died in 2024. Okay. So he passed away in 2024. That is why it's 2024, or that's why it's 24. But CW for Carl Weathers. He will be available in the Droid Factory collection in the new year. That's kind of cool. So at Disney Parks, I guess, or on Disney's website too. There's that. So this droid is now honoring him by being called CW24. Now that is really, really cool, but it does bring up a very, very important question. What are they going to do about Grief Karga in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? How do you do this? How do you tell a story where Din and Grogu are going to start their story on Navarro, because that's where they left off in season 3, where Din's good friend in the magistrate, what was he, the mayor or the magistrate, whatever he was, of the town in Navarro, how is he going to... How is he not going to be there? Killed off screen? Well, there's a couple options. Is he killed off screen? is he killed? Well, I guess it would be off screen, but before the movie begins, which I believe is off screen too, but you know what I mean. Off screen during the movie or off screen before the movie. Or is there a reason that he's not there? For example, like they did with Cara Dune. They didn't kill off Cara Dune. They just had her be somewhere else. Would they do that with Greef Karga as well? Just to not kill his character off, but explain where he is at the current moment somewhere else? There's a couple different ways they can do it. My personal preference would be they make it a meaningful death. For example, the remnant of the Empire retaliates because Din Djarin, Cara Dune, and Greef Karga destroyed their Imperial facility on Navarro in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. They retaliate and destroy Navarro, in doing so, killing the character of Greef Karga off, because it can give you a moment to honor Carl Weathers in the movie and honor the character by giving him like a funeral. Have Din Djarin bury him and sort of just have a moment to sort of, I guess, honor his life. And I think that would work the best because it would give you a catalyst for why Din Djarin is fighting back so hard against the Imperial Remnant. But it would also give you a way to give an honored and nice way to send off the character of Greef Karga because Carl is no longer with us. So this is really cool. Calling the droid CW24 is really cool. But the question becomes, and tell me in the chat, how do you think they're going to deal with Greef Karga as a character? What do we think? High Magistrate. Yes, that was his name. High Magistrate Karga. A reason why he's not there. So you think they'll keep him alive? Same sort of thing they did with King T'Challa. Yes. So when Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away, they had to make a second Black Panther movie. Well, I guess they didn't have to, but they made a second Black Panther movie. And to explain his death, they did it off screen before the movie began, and they had a funeral for him. So something similar to that is what I think could happen. What do we think? And while you guys tell me, let me get to this super chat. Swifty with the very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that quite a bit. Says, what do you think of the sequels? Any of the films you love out of the three? And do you ever rematch them? I don't know what that means, but thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for the very generous super chat. What do I think of the sequel trilogy? That is a very bold and broad question. I will say I do. Do I love any of the three of them? I love The Force Awakens. Yeah, I can say that very, very positively, and I guess, yeah. I love The Force Awakens. The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. And I've talked about this before. I think The Force Awakens is a great setup that the next two movies don't really pay off very well. It's the lack of a cohesive, one-minded story. Because they bounce back and forth between directors, it's two different people trying to tell the same story. And it's evident in the movies. I think there's a couple holes that need to be filled. For example, Luke Skywalker on Arc 2, Palpatine's Return. Oh, do I ever rewatch them? Okay, sorry, my fault. I rewatch them all the time. All the time. Whether it's looking for clips for a video or whatever it may be, or it's just on TV, or I just want to watch some Star Wars, I rewatch the sequels a lot. Visually, they are stunning. Story-wise, they're getting better over the years because of, again, like I said, those plot holes are being filled with stuff like The Bad Batch or The Mandalorian. And I think over time, as they continue to tell more stories around the sequel trilogy, you're going to get the sequel trilogy to become, at least for me, better. That varies per person. But I know so many people, too, in the People Who Love Star Wars community, and probably in this live stream too, that some of their favorite Star Wars movies ever are in the sequel trilogy. I know a bunch of you, your favorite Star Wars movie is The Last Jedi, which to some other Star Wars fan may sound like bonkers. But to me, what do I think of the sequel trilogy? I think it has its moments. Really, really good, cool storytelling and cool fight scenes and battles and all that stuff. Just in terms of the last two movies, there's room for improvement. The same way there was room for improvement in the prequel trilogy with the Clone Wars, in the same way that there was some room for improvement for the original trilogy with Andor and Rebels and Rogue One. I think with the sequel trilogy, there's just more room for improvement. But I can sit down on any day, watch them, and enjoy myself watching them. Especially The Force Awakens, which I do, in fact, love. But I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. I hardly rewatch anything. I'm always in a constant rewatch because, like, I'm watching Rebels right now with Samantha, and I'm like, I forget some of this stuff. And Rebels is my favorite Star Wars show. It just has been a while, and I forget. There's so much Star Wars content that you just forget. There's no possible way you can remember, unless you have like a eidetic memory or a photographic memory. It's impossible to remember all that. So you have to go back and rewatch. I think a lot of that, too, becomes in your mind. For example, for something like the sequel trilogy, you may go rewatch it and go, oh, yeah, that wasn't as bad as I remember it being. Or that's better than I thought it was. Or that's worse than I thought it was. Yeah. You like Rebels more than you like Mando and Ahsoka? Yes. As a whole, yes. Ahsoka is one season. So that may change with season 2. Maybe. But Rebels is 4 seasons of all peak television. Even season 1. Season 1 is, yes, just a lead up, getting to know the characters, a lot of mission of the week stuff. But from then on, and that stuff has to happen, but from then on, it's just all peak. It's all peak for 4 seasons. And The Mandalorian is great for 3. Third season's a little bit of a step back. First season's really, really good. Season 2's the best. But yeah, it's not even close. It's not even close. Andor, again, really, really good. Last 6 episodes are probably better than any 6 episodes in Rebels. That's an argument to be had. But it's the first 6 of that second season and the first 12. Granted, they are all great episodes. They're just not on that same level. There are levels to this thing. Even Clone Wars. Clone Wars, a lot of people say is better than Rebels. And there are arcs in the Clone Wars that are better than Rebels. The Siege of Mandalore is better than probably any arc in Star Wars. I said probably. It might not be. But there are arcs like the Mortis God arc, the Umbara arc, the Siege of Mandalore arc, the Barasafi Frames Ahsoka arc that are probably better than most things in Rebels. But there are so much more filler episodes in Clone Wars. There's so much more, like the first 2 seasons are just a lot of fluff, for lack of a better word. But the Maul stuff, the Ahsoka stuff in the later seasons, like there's so much greatness in Clone Wars. It's just more consistent and more all the time in Rebels. Yeah. Indeed. The opening scene of Rebels is just a ripoff of Aladdin. True. Well, I don't know, a ripoff, more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiration off of Aladdin. Star Wars does that all the time. I mean, the original Star Wars is inspired by all those, why am I blanking on the name? It's inspired by Dune. It's inspired by, holy crap, Chad, somebody please help me. The serials, I can't think of their names. My life is spiraling. My mind is broken. And yes, Ezra is sort of Space Aladdin. But we're talking about Ahsoka Season 2 taking inspiration from Lord of the Rings. It's not a retelling. It's taking inspiration from, you know? Flash Gordon. Thank you. Holy crap, that was hurting my head. Flash Gordon. Yeah, all that stuff. True. Swifty with another generous $5 holla says, thank you so much for replying. Force Awakens is my favorite movie. Daisy Ridley is just so charming. I also love The Rise of Skywalker. I think The Last Jedi is just okay. I didn't like the Poe and Finn stuff. Well, there you go. There you have it. And speaking of Daisy Ridley, we just talked about how she's coming back and her giving the update on the Rey movie, which is great. Indeed. All right, but let's finish it off today here with looking forward to 2026. This is the last live stream in 2025, and we got a lot to look forward to in 2026. It was a great year. It was a great year. Not just for me personally, not just for the channel, not just for whatever. For Star Wars in general, it was a great year. Not a good year, a great year. And 2026 has the opportunity to be even better. So let's take a look at it. First things first, do you think Battlefront 3 will be announced in 2026? Do you think Battlefront 3 will be announced in 2026? Yes or no? What do we think? I love this graphic. Battlefront 3 will be announced in 2020. Nope. 2021. Nope. 2022. Nope. 23. Nope. 24. Nope. 2025. I mean, we do have still one more day. But no. No, it will not. Sadly, no. No, I don't think it will be. I am forever a believer. Love that. Love that. Don't care. Okay. I don't know. Here's my thing. The push for Battlefront 3 this year was bigger than ever. The Battlefront 2 breaking records, breaking its most concurrent players active or whatever twice this year, one in May and one in December. The push for Battlefront 3 is everywhere. Still, you go into the comment sections of a Star Wars video, and people are still saying, we want Battlefront 3. Hashtag Battlefront 3. You're seeing it all the time. It's right alongside of the hashtag Hunt for Ben Solo stuff. So, Star Wars fans are not going to stop. But it's going to take a long time to make this game. Even if it's greenlit tomorrow, I don't know when they'll announce it, because if they announce it, then we'll be waiting years and years and years until it actually comes out. It's going to take at least 3 to 5 years, and I'm just shuffling cards over here, chat. Don't worry about me. I love shuffling cards. It's like the most fun thing ever. Okay, sorry. Got distracted by my nice Star Wars cards. It's going to take years to make this game. So even if they announce it tomorrow, you're not going to get it till at least 2028 or 9 or maybe even 2030. Like, this game could be so far away. The hope is that they've been already working on it for a while, but that's not likely. So it depends on when they will announce it, because if they announce it in 2026, it still might not be another couple years until we get it. So would you prefer them announce it years in advance and us be waiting in limbo land, or would you rather them wait until it's ready to go when they announce it? I don't know. But as we look ahead, here are the most anticipated projects and events of 2026. Because we talk about Maul, Shadow Lord, Ahsoka Season 2, and The Mandalorian and Grogu, but events as well. With 2025 at an end, we are looking ahead to the new year to see what Star Wars projects and events we are looking forward to the most. Here we go. Here's the top 10. Star Wars Galactic Racer. This was just announced a couple weeks ago. Recently announced at the Game Awards, Star Wars Galactic Racer is an upcoming racing game from Fuse Games and Lucasfilm Games. Set in the New Republic era, in the Mandoverse era, the game will follow a new character named Shade as he navigates the Galactic League, which is this illegal racing league. An unsanctioned racing league where the syndicate's bankroll chaos and champions are forged, which is the campaign of the game, but there's also a multiplayer, which is really cool because we need a multiplayer Star Wars game immediately. So there's that. That's at number 10. At number 9, The Secrets of the Sith, The Chronicles of Emperor Palpatine. First of all, check out the cover of that. That looks badass as hell. In 2021, Insight Editions, English, and Arthur Mark Summerack, published The Secrets of the Sith, which I have right here. They published this Secrets of the Sith novel, which is pretty awesome, actually. I believe it's from the perspective of Palpatine. Well, that's the opening. Hang on. Dun-dun. There you have it. That's just, the Dyad and the Force? Jeez. Okay, let's go to a different page. Sith artifacts. There's the dagger from Ochi of Bastoon. All right, sorry. Got distracted. So, in 2021, that book came out. Now, in 2026, we are getting an updated version of the book hits shelves, featuring new content from recent TV shows. So I'm guessing like the Acolyte stuff with Plagueis and Chimere, but also probably some post-sequels or sequels stuff with Palpatine and Project Necromancer. So it could be giving us some information about Palpatine and his cloning operations. And that comes out in 2026. Number 8, Maul Shadow Lord. This is too low. I would have... Oh, sorry. You guys can't see that. Number 8, Maul Shadow Lord. This is too low. I'd have this way, way higher. Aligned with the release of a new anime... aligned with the release of a new... Oh, this is the... Sorry. This is the comic book run. Shadow of Maul, not Shadow Lord. My fault. So this is the Shadow Lord spin-off prequel comic series. That comes out in, I believe, March. And this is how he gets to be running it. Yeah. Number 7, Legacy. This is the Leia and Rey novel, which is pretty cool. Taking place between the events of The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, this new adult novel focuses on Rey training under the guidance of Jedi Master Leia, and this could be giving us some outlook or something to what the Rey movie might look like or what the post-sequel world might look like as well. Number 6, Reign of the Empire, Edge of Abyss. Oh, this is the second book of that trilogy. Oh, interesting. So the second book of the Reign of the Empire is coming out. This was the one with Mon Mothma and all that stuff with the sort of Senate side of things. That'll be really, really cool. So there's that. Number 5, the Vision spinoff, The Ninth Jedi. This is likely to come out later on in the year, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, we got Visions Volume 3 this year, and this is a spinoff of The Ninth Jedi episodes, I suppose now. Number 4, D23 Expo in 2026. There is no Star Wars Celebration in 2026. There's none. So this is the big, if they're going to announce something at a panel, this is it. And it's in Anaheim this year. It's in August. This will be where they would announce some stuff. For example, maybe the next live-action show after Ahsoka Season 2. This might actually be where we get our first official trailer for Ahsoka Season 2 if it does come out in September or October, or at least a trailer. And who knows what else? Maybe a trailer for Starfighter at this thing. Like, this is going to be the big event of the year for hopefully announcing some big stuff. Number 3, Ahsoka Season 2. This is way too low. I'm guessing the top 3 are going to be Mando and Grogu and Maul Shadow Lord, but this is, too low. Ahsoka Season 2. Maul Shadow Lord at 2. This is probably going to be the first thing that comes out, which will be great, but only time will tell. And then number 1, The Mandalorian and Grogu. The return to the big screen after over 6 years of no Star Wars movies. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. However, with that being said, which of these projects or events are you most looking forward to in 2026? Give me a top 3. Give me a top 3 in an order. For me, it's Ahsoka Season 2 at number 1. That's tough. Ahsoka Season 2 at number 1, Mandalorian and Grogu, and then Maul Shadow Lord. Not that I'm not excited for Maul Shadow Lord, but it's the first movie in 6 years. It's a continuation of the Mando and Grogu story, which is just, come on. And then, of course, it's Ahsoka. Ahsoka Season 1 being my single favorite season. I know I just said Rebels is my favorite show because it's 4 seasons. But my single favorite season of Star Wars television is Ahsoka. So hopefully Season 2 continues that greatness and we continue in 2026. Maul Shadow Lord is your top, no question about it. Respectable. Respectable. Mandalorian and Grogu, then Ahsoka Season 2. Nice. Then D23. D23 could be great. Could be great. A lot of Ahsoka hype. Love it. Love it. I used to get Star Wars Insider. I missed that magazine. I never got it, but yeah, that shutting down or stopping publishing was pretty crazy. There would be a lot of news in it, just in general, but crazy times. Crazy times. Did we get to everything I wanted to get to today? Yes. We did that. We did the Daisy Ridley stuff. We did the Millie Bobby Brown stuff. We did the Mando stuff. We did the giveaway. We did that. We talked about the sequels. We talked about that. I think we did it all. Chat, unless something crazy happened while we were live. Let's see. Let's find out. I'm not seeing anything. Okay. Well, with that, 2025 comes to an end. Unless there's something crazy that happens tomorrow for Star Wars news, this is the last bit of Star Wars news that we got. Absolutely crazy. So, yeah, I mean, let's take a second. 2025 has been an incredible year. I could not thank you guys enough for all the incredible support and super chats and memberships. But even if none of that, just watching helps me oh so greatly. Smashing a like, of course, is fantastic too. But it's really, really great that we've gotten this community together, whether it be for the last 5 years or less than a week. It doesn't matter. How long you've been in this channel doesn't matter. The people who love Star Wars are going into 2026 stronger than ever and going into what could be the greatest year of Star Wars content ever. I could not thank you guys enough for all the incredible support this year. It's been my honor to live stream 3 times a week for the entire year. I know we've missed a couple days, whether it be holidays or whatever it may be. We just haven't been able to have live streams. For example, last week was Christmas on Thursday, so we didn't have a live stream. So there's stuff like that happens, but we've live streamed upward of 100+ times easily and probably close to 150 times, which is absolutely insane to me. But I appreciate you all for tuning into all those live streams, or at least some of them. And I look forward to what's going to be an incredible year. 50 Thunder with a very generous $2 holla says, happy 49 ABY, everyone. 49 ABY. Oh, 49 after the Battle of Yavin, which is in 1977. I see what you did there. Van Gogh, what's up? Says, I'm one of your originals here. Love you, Mike. I appreciate that. I appreciate it quite a bit. I really, really do. Oh, what a great year. What a great year. But we'll have an even better one next year. I can guarantee it. I appreciate you all so much more than you'll ever know. Smash a freaking like in this stream if you have not already. Let's end this poll. By the way, 64% of you do want to see Millie Bobby Brown in Star Wars. That's with over 70 votes on that poll. That's pretty great. I appreciate you guys. If you are not yet already, go join that Discord. The link is in the description below. Let's hope for a great Stranger Things finale tomorrow. If you guys watch that, but even if you don't, hope for me. Hope for me that it can stick the landing and become one of the greatest shows of all time. It already kind of is, but you need a good ending. You need a good ending for a show like Andor did this year. Yeah. Swifty with a very generous $5 holla says, I normally watch in the playback, so I figured I'd owe you some super chats to say thank you. You guys never owe me anything. Don't you even think about it. Super chats are just very generous additions, and I appreciate that quite a bit. It's insanely generous to send me any amount of your own money when you could just for free. Like, that's the thing. I'm never going to ask you guys to send me a super chat. I know a lot of channels would put up in the top corner can put up goals for super chats and stuff like that. Memberships and super chats help me greatly, and I appreciate it oh so much. But just watching, just liking, just doing stuff that is completely free to you is all I can ask, and it's unbelievably generous that you even do that much. So I appreciate it quite a bit. Jane with a very generous $14 holler. Very random, but I appreciate it. Says, congrats on the big year. Looking forward to next one. I appreciate that quite a bit. Oh my God, you guys. I just said stop sending me super chats. I appreciate it. Tony with a very generous $20 holler. That's insanely generous. Says, Happy New Year's to all my friends. We'll be returning in 2026, 12 months at the master level as of yesterday. Love it. Waiting for Mike to reach 200K. Lots of great Star Wars coming in 2026. And yes, an incredible year is coming. Yeah, we hit 190,000 subscribers in 2025. 190. That's insane. So the goal is for 2026, 200, of course. And then from there, 250, 300, and who knows what our ceiling could be. I guess there is no ceiling, but we shall see. until next time, smash a freaking like in the stream, and yeah. See you guys next year. That is so corny and stupid, and I apologize. May the force be with you, always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you'll ever know. This was quite the year. This was a year to remember. That's for damn sure. But 2026, I think, will be a very similar one as well. It's crazy that this time last year, actually, no, tomorrow, but this time last year, we were doing a watch party of Skeleton Crew right before New Year's. Crazy. Crazy. But until next time, well, I'll see you guys next year. But until next time, hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, great rest of your year. And good night, everybody.